guys, I'm working on this Christmas journal, and I wanted to come up with something to put on the inside cover. And I'm going to use book page, and I'm going to create a multi-layer pocket. Now, the book page is obviously too wide, so we're going to have to trim that down. But this is 2 sheets of old book page that I glued together, and then I poured some coffee on it and let that dry just for added interest. And I'm going to cut these down. Probably just going to cut the margins out on both sides. And that'll fit nicely. We'll do the same thing with this. Let's just make sure that I get them the same size. And then I'm going to fold it like so. And try to space these out evenly. So this in essence gives me a pocket here, here, and here. And we can also put one on the front. So what I'm going to do is cover these areas here with some paper that matches my journal. So let's go ahead and get that done. We don't need much. And I'm just going to ink this. And I do want to make sure some of the book page is still showing around there. Okay. Put another piece here. Actually, I should have covered that whole thing up, but we'll go back and fix that. We'll go back and fix it. Okay.
Spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new. 'Cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything.
All right, so I'm going to glue this down. I think before I glue that down, I'm going to put a notch right there. See if I can do this without getting glue everywhere. Okay. And you want to make sure that these are tucked in nice so that you won't get any resistance when you close the pockets up. And I need to just trim that off just a little bit. All right, I'm just going to kind of roughly ink this up around the edges. Okay, so now let's make some tags to go in to our journal. We'll cut this at 2.5 and we'll see how that goes. I'm going to use this to punch the top. And let's start with these right here. Okay, so I need to cut. Let's start with this. Cute. All right, let me make another one that size. All right, so that ended up being about 5¼ inches tall. But measurements don't really matter for this because this will be determined by the size of book pages that you're going to use. Okay, so let's cut some more.
Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh. La, 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 la. Oh, oh. La, 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 la. Oh, oh. La, 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 la. Making our Christmas memories. I've been wrapping presents for you. I've been hanging more.
Now, so this is a fully loaded multi-layer pocket that we can just slip in right here and glue down on 3 sides and put a large tag in behind there. So then the next thing you can do is put some hole reinforcers on these or eyelets and put some seam binding or twine or whatever you like to use in there. Although I will say it might make it a bit bulky if you put too much on there. But this is a cool way to add some interest to the inside cover of your journal. And I like it. So the next thing I'm going to do is ink all of these and decide how to decorate the tops and make a tag for the back here, and then I'll come back and show you what the finished product looks like. Okay, while the multi-layered pockets are drying, I thought I would show you how to make one of these really quick, which I have made from my journal. I believe I have already done a video on how to make one of these envelopes with a book page, but just for fun, we're going to do it again. So this is the same book page. I coffee dyed it. I lined the flap with some paper to match the journal and made a closure here that also matches, and then decorated it. So let me show you how really quickly how to do that. So when I glued my two book pages together, I glued one that was going in this direction and one that was going in the opposite direction. Okay, so when you fold it up, the text is in the correct position on the front here and on this part too. The only place that it won't be is the back. That will be upside down. That doesn't bother me, but if it does you, then you can certainly consider cutting that or covering that part up. So I just randomly folded this. There's no measurements or anything here. I'm going to cut a thumb notch right here. Just eyeball in the center. And we're going to ink this. I also want to round these corners right here. You don't have to. I think it just gives it a more finished look. All right. So now that that's inked, I'm going to go ahead and cover this part up like I did this one. I still have my scraps laying over here. So let's just pick something. I'm going to go ahead and round these corners. Oops, I forgot to trim it first. It's okay. Let's do it about right there. And then just figure out where we want to cut that off at the bottom, about right there.
I've been hanging marbles in the tree, and I've lit my house with...
I'm going to cut some of these to make the closure with. I think I'm going to cut just one more piece. Make sure it's good and thick. And we'll set that aside to dry. And we'll go ahead and finish. What I'm going to do is sew around the envelope to close it, like I did on this one. So let me do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've sewn all around this and just realized I had not put the brad in for my closure. So that's okay. It'll still work. Okay. This is fairly dry now. And make sure you get all of those edges inked so no white parts are showing. Okay. And you know what? I think on this one I just glued it down. Yeah, I did. So we can do that same thing here. So I'm just going to glue the bottom half of this. Let's center it up. You just want this to just barely clip that in because we don't want to put too much stress on the book page. And I'm going to put a little flat back pearl on the front there for decoration. All right, let's go ahead and decorate the front. This part right here. And let's see. I think I'm going to use this dark part. And put a little piece of lace behind there. So let's go ahead and get that glued down. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac for this. And I have a piece of very vintage receipt paper. It is so brittle. And very gently ink that up. And these are not vintage that I know of, but I'm going to put one right here. I pulled them out because they're red and kind of go with the whole Christmas theme. And I like to place whatever I'm doing so that all of the layers continue to show around whatever I'm putting down. So then we're going to put a little piece of bling here. Please excuse my hands. I have been gluing stuff all day and I am covered in ink and glue. All right, so there's the front flap. Isn't that pretty? I think we probably should put some more stuff down here because this is a little bit larger envelope. I think I'll put another label. And this is a sticker. Put that right there. Just kind of grungy that up just a little bit. Okay, so that kind of fills in that space there. All right, now let's turn it over and work on the back. And on here, I just have a die cut and a sentiment. So let's see, I've got Santa that I want to use. So let's get him glued down. Okay, so I am pulling from this pack here, Small Talk. Give that a little bit of extra glue, and it says Embrace Beautiful Chaos, which is kind of what these envelopes are. I'm just going to lay that right on top of that piece of scrap. Lightly distress it with this ink. And now I have another envelope ready to put in my journal. Okay, so now it's not, there we go. So now I have these two envelopes. I love them. Santa on the back, Christmas tree on that one. It's all dry now. And I made this large tag for the back. So I only glued it down on 3 sides. And added a little charm there. And all I did to the tags was to cut out little hole reinforcers with some of the scrap paper that I had. And that's how that looks. Okay, and then I inked all around front and back. And I did the same thing with all of the tags. So they have a little bit of decoration on them, but the journal still closes pretty good. Okay. So that's a cool way to add some additional tag stash to your journals. I love the way that turned out. I do think I'm going to go in and just ink these hole reinforcers a little bit. But anyway, I hope you'll give it a try. Guys, that's all I have for today. I'm going to continue to work on my journal and hopefully get it finished soon so we can do a flip through. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.